Hey guys, how's it going? I'm Alejandro, the CGI nerd, and I'm going to try to finish up this little character here. Um, Not like the full model, but just the low poly block in because it was really late on the last live stream. I want to make sure that I get the edge loops kind of correct and that I can fix some of the topology because if we look at, for example, the face here, we can see that this loop is pretty awkward for what we need. Really what we need it to do is go around this way. We also don't have the edge loop that kind of goes over the nose because of the way the nose is placed right now. This is probably kind of where the nose is going to be right here. So it's going to be somewhere around there. Might have to add a little bit of geometry, but I need another edge loop to separate the face and the chin from the nose and be able to create the lines on the side of the mouth, which are kind of hidden in the concept art when we look at the concept art here, but there is a line there that is going to need to be there that I need to make sure I have. So I am going to work on those things. So let's fix this face edge loop because that will make things easier to work where I want it to really go down this way, and then I don't want it to loop down into the leg, but I want it to loop across this way. And looking at how much it's looping around in different ways that I don't want it to do, I'm going to just cut off half of it to make our job a little bit easier, and then we'll mirror it over in a moment. Cool. So looking at this edge loop here, this is where it starts coming around. So I know that I need to get rid of both of these faces here. And when I do that, I can go into edge mode and select both of these and do I can do an append polygon tool, select the edges there, boom, and I have that done. And then now looking here, I still have 4, and I can close that out. I might want to make that a little bit different later, but I'm really just focusing on this edge loop later, right now, and then I can fix that if I need to, because I probably want it to be a little bit more symmetrical all the way through. So now I can see that I have the loop right here where I need to make sure that it goes this way. So as the loop comes down, it just goes this way. So I want to get rid of both of these faces. And actually this face too, with the way it's going. And I'm going to connect from here to here. So let's go in and add a Append to Polygon tool. Can go from here to here. I think last time I was using the bridge tool, and you can use bridge as well. It's just kind of slightly different way to do it. Here we can see that once I do that, the geometry really starts getting stretched out here. So something that I might want to consider is doing this here, which gives us a little bit different number of polygons, but looking at it here, it is kind of stretched on this side too, so maybe I'll just add an edge there. So I'm going to go in and do an insert edge loop tool there, and I'll add one here. Keep it even from the top and the bottom. But you can see that this polygon is no longer stretched to the extreme like we had a moment ago. And as I insert the insert edge loop tool, you'll see that it kind of puts it in flat. So I need to add a little bit of the curvature back in. There we go. And maybe looking at this, this might seem like a good opportunity to actually get rid of some of the extra geometry that I have here. So let's check this edge loop here. And it goes around through the back that way. But if I can reroute some of the geometry, I can actually get this to connect a little bit better. So I'm going to take this and get rid of that. And I think just getting rid of that one row is enough for what I want to do. So let's go here, select these, and I can merge. Merge, 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 and merge. There we go. And I can do an append to polygon tool here. And do another one here. So that closes off that area there. Here we can see that we have a tiny bit more. We have double the polygons here, but we can see that if we were to loop it, it goes through here and then it just adds more geometry on this side, which can cause us problems. So, and let's see if I check this loop. I think that's going around the whole body, which is fine. Well, up to the mouth and then into the eye. That is perfectly fine because I need that geometry. I just need to close this off over here. And maybe, and if I add an edge loop over here, that is not going to help us. Maybe I can reroute the geometry this way. There we go. So I am going to do a pen to polygon tool this way. And then let's move this vertice, but that should be 4 faces, although it is a little weird. So what I'm going to do is delete these faces here. Then edge mode, select these edges and extrude them. Now that I have done that, I can try to make sure that it's lined up a little bit better. Oops, wrong arrow. And then we can merge these vertices. There we go. So that allows us to have this geometry coming across here. And actually looking at it now, there's one less. See, this is still the one that goes all the way around. And let's check this one. Where does this one end? That one ends on top, and we need that one as well. If we add a geometry here, We can do that and add a little bit of geometry here that fills out the lip a little bit more. So that is what I am going to do. Insert edge loop tool. And I'm just going to pull it out a tiny bit to do a curvature. I'm going to have to kind of fix it overall, but just so that it's not super flat. There we go. And then we can do edge, 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 and edge, edge, edge. And then I'll do a bridge this time. There you go. That fills in that gap. Let's look at this, make sure all the edges are merged properly, and they are. That looks great. And now I still need to figure out this one, but with the way we rerouted it, we have the ability to add in another edge here, which is perfect for what we need right now. And let's kind of adjust this. And I can do the insert edge loop tool. And now that I've done that, we can bridge one side here to the other. There we go. Let's push 3. Make sure everything is connected, oops, the way I need it to be. And that looks great. Get this loop here that goes around the face like I want. I do want to add an extra loop here, so let's go in, oops, not faces, but edges, and select these edges here. Give us a little bit more space. And what I'm going to do is over here it's looking better, over here it's looking a little bit stretched. I want to add another one, but this will allow me to do the edge loop for the nose that comes right up above the nose. So if I delete these two faces here, and I can insert an edge loop right here. So that gives us a little bit more geometry there. And then I'll add an edge loop here. That gives me a little bit more geometry there. And then I know for sure that I want to connect here to here, and here to here. That gives me an extra edge, so do I not? Yeah, I still need the edge loop, so I might need more geometry down here. Let me add one more edge loop. Actually, what I'm going to do is delete this edge loop first. Will save me a little bit of time. Edge loop utilities, do edge loop and delete. There we go. So what I'm going to do is append to polygon tool from here to here. There we go. So we have that loop happening there, and then I can add extra edge loops that will be what I need. And then from here to here. Oh, there's an extra face here. And coming into the corner of the mouth, I can add a little bit more detail in the corner of the mouth. So let's add a insert edge loop there. So now we can go in and bridge from this side to this side. Bridge, there we go. So that's looking a lot better. Let's push 3. It is looking good. You can see that just doing that already, it's starting to kind of create the jawline there of the character, so that's pretty awesome. And if I went in and started maybe pulling in some of these points, I can start creating kind of the chin. I still need more detail here for the lip, which we'll get to, but you can see how just having the right geometry in the right locations actually makes it much easier to get the modeling done. It almost feels like it kind of falls into place. Okay. Just for reference, what I am going to do right now is create a sphere for the eyes. So I got a sphere here, and I'm just going to make it small, lower poly. Later on, we'll do something else with the eye, but I just would like to have a reference for the eye. So that we have a good placement and we can model around it. And got that there. I'm gonna scale it up. Maybe something like that will work. Let me look at it from the front view, make sure that it's not coming out that way. That's good. I like that. And then what I'm going to do is here. Let's look at it from the side. Select all these faces here. So that way I can take it and scale it, and it's not allowing me to do negative scale. Let me add my toolbar back. Display. Where is it? Show heads up display. Toolbar. Nope, this is not what I wanted. Sorry. Tool settings. Yep, so I have the tool settings up now. You can't see it now, but the scale setting, when you open up the tool settings for the scale, there should be an option somewhere here. Yeah, there's a checkbox that says prevent negative scale. I'm gonna uncheck that. So now when I scale this, it should allow me to invert it a little bit. So that way I can kind of see the eye here a little bit more clearly. And if I want to, I can turn the prevent back on, but I usually kind of leave it like that. That makes it a little bit easier. So when we look at it now in object mode, it kind of gives us an idea of where the pupil and the iris are. I mean, that's a huge pupil. We can probably select these faces really quick. But it gives us an idea of the iris and the pupil. Be something kind of like that. If we want to, we can smooth it. I'll leave it faceted for right now. So now that we have that in place, let's get some of these polygons moving. And I just want to make sure that when we place everything around here, that it has enough room for the eyeball to be where we need it. You can see that the top is pretty high up. Let's bring that back. This needs to wrap in a little bit so we can push this in. And at this low poly state, it's not going to be super perfect, but we can actually get it pretty close to what we want the final result to be. And I'm just trying to space out a little bit everything more evenly. That's great. So for right now, that's what I will leave for the edge of the eye for how I'm going to do it. I'm going to need to make it a little bit rounder in the future for the style of the character, but I think for right now this is okay. The character has a bit of a stronger brow ridge. Right now it is kind of like the eyes are jutting out of the head, which is not exactly what I want. I want it to actually be recessed. So maybe like the whole thing, we can move the eye further back into the head and then select the edge loop here and have it kind of come back and recess. And maybe that's a little bit too much, but it's better to go too far and then pull it back a little bit than not going far enough and then just keep on doing little bits at a time. So I am liking that a lot more. Let's mirror this over really quick just so that we can get a look at how the whole character is going to be looking. Just adjusting the merge threshold to a lot lower number. Let's smooth this out. So that's looking a lot better. There's still stuff that I need to change. Yes, Penny? My daughter's here. I'm recording a video, Penny. You can lay down. I just need to finish recording the video, okay? Yeah, you can lay down on the bed. With physical objects that I need to get over to the other side, what I like to do is take it, group it, and then scale it -1 on the X. And that will flip it over to the other side. Before I scale it -1 on the X, I should duplicate it so that way I have 2 eyes rather than just 1. And some of the shaping is actually going to come from the character when it has fur, so that's something that I have to also consider while I'm doing a lot of this stuff. I think for this character I am going to have nails, So let's take a look at taking these, and I'm just going to extrude them in. Extrude, there we go. Let's look at it. Polygon mode there. Hey Penny, please be polite. Hey Penny, I'm recording a video, right? Yeah, I asked you to please be polite and not make noise. You can lay down there, but I'm recording a video, okay? If you can't be quiet, you're gonna have to go back to your room or the living room. Okay? Okay, so here we go. And when I do that, you can see if I smooth it, it kind of has this weird popped up part on the bottom, on the end, but I do like the way it is at the sides and the back. So we'll have to really kind of basically boom, boom, get rid of that geometry there. And where do we want to route everything? Because if we keep on extending it here, we're going to have a hard edge at the top too. So we want to basically end this here. How do we do this? I think if we add an extra edge loop here, it'll shoot in through the whole body, and I don't want to do that now. Let me look at it smooth again. Penny, please. Okay, so maybe, let's see if I can just do it through modeling. Kind of shaping the front so that way it is not as protruding in. So let's look at this when we see it smooth. It's a little bit better. Let's see if we take this, pull it out further. And smooth. And then maybe take all of these vertices, scale them towards each other. So that it's more longer than wider. I'm liking that a lot better. I might play with it more, but there's going to be another piece of geometry on top of this for the curve. See, that's kind of what I'm trying to avoid right here, is that look of a lip, but I think maybe it's gone enough so that way when I do have a piece of geometry on there, it's not going to look weird. And it also matters, I guess, if it's opaque or not. So let's pull this in like that. Pull this out there. Pull this back. And then on this one, I did want to make sure that the lip at the front is not as pronounced as it is everywhere else. Okay, so let's look at this smooth. It's a little bit better. I'm going to pull this out further. Okay, that's probably as good as that's going to be for right now. With the high detail version of this mesh, it should be much better. So I'm going to extrude this. Extrude. There we go. Looking at the low poly, it kind of got really distorted pretty quickly. So let's fix it in the low poly first. Hello, Penny.
I was saying hi to them.
You want to say hi really quick?
Yep.
Give me a moment. But I'm working right now, right, Penny? Here's the little rascal. Okay.
First question.
Yeah. Do you want to go take him to the living room? So that's a bit better shape than what I want. So I can take that and extrude it down. And then scale it in. And refix this edge. And hopefully that will be good enough. So let's look at this smoothed out. That's looking pretty cool. Okay, so now let's look at doing something for the nose there. Gonna add another edge loop down here, but this is basically where I'm gonna have the nose, I feel like. So let's add one more edge loop right here. And that means that I can take this and maybe kind of scale it down a little bit for right now, and then we can shape it a little bit better later. There we go. So looking at the concept art right here, his nose is kind of in that area. So let's take these faces here. Let's scale them out a little bit. Actually, let's pull. Am I gonna need an even more? Nah, I'll pull this up instead. Look at it in wireframe mode. There we go. The nose is gonna come out from here. Let me delete half of it, the mesh, so that way we can just mirror everything over once we're done. Oops, too much. There we go.
It's too much.
Yep. So that means that this edge loop here, let's make sure, will go around. That is what we want. Nice. Maybe these points are kind of jutting out a bit too much. They should be more kind of like that, but that's the general idea. So that way when we do the character talking and we need the cheeks and things like that, you'll see that it creates that little bit of a lip there that is kind of like the edges of the mouth there. So taking these faces here, and it kind of goes upwards, so let's tweak a little bit of this geometry first. Just a little bit, because we're going to actually extrude it in. And then we can get a little bit more detail here. So let's take this, edit mesh, extrude. And when I extrude this, instead of pulling it out this way, actually you can see that it doesn't line up exactly on the axis. What I'm going to do is switch over to the regular move tool. And it does that so it keeps it right on the center line for our character. There we go. So these two vertices, I'm going to move them a bit more up. And this one I'm going to come really close over here because it's going to try to create a little bit more of a heart shape that we have here. These points, I'm going to kind of pull them down. This, I'm going to pull it up a little bit more. And this, I am definitely going to be pulling up quite a bit. Scale down the nose a bit, pull it in. You can start seeing that the shape is turning out to be the nose that we needed. There we go. And then for the nostril, I don't know, I can try maybe doing both of these spaces. Penny, can you please calm down a little bit?
I just made it once. I love you, Daddy.
I love you too.
Really
I like that there quite a bit. So I'm going to extrude this one more time, pull it back. And then on this one, pull the edge in right here in the center, so that way it kind of has that concave shape. Maybe here on the top, let's pull some edges a little bit. that is looking a lot better. What do you think, Penny? Let's mirror it over and you tell me what you think, Penny. Let's mirror and let's fix this really quick.
He was trying to bite me. He was trying to bite me.
Oh, but he didn't.
He almost tried.
Okay, so let's look. What do you think, Penny?
It looks great.
Okay.
Will we soon have a movie of this?
It will take a little bit, but we'll have a movie eventually. A little short film.
Hey, maybe we could call this movie called Monsters Mew.
Monsters MU? I think that one's already taken. What about Monsters in Penny's Room?
Yeah, that one. And then we could see me.
Yeah.
Yay!
Okay, so let's select these edges here. And we will extrude them in. Extrude them down. So this is going to kind of be the beginnings of the lips, so like that a little bit, yeah. Let's pull these edges down. Maybe get the faces in the corner. And pull them even more down. It's going to be its neutral state and be kind of like unhappy. It's not really unhappy, I don't feel. I think it's just more like uneasy. What do you think, Penny?
I think this one's sad.
Yeah, she's a little sad, huh?
Yeah. I think she's sad because someone hurt her feelings.
Someone hurt her feelings? Oh no. What'd they hurt their feelings from?
From laughing at her.
They laughed at her? That's not nice.
Yeah.
Oops.
Should add a little bow to this.
Yeah, I do need to add the little bow. Yeah, that's a good point, Penny. And I need to do her eyebrows too, huh?
Oh, yeah. Oh, you need to do her eyeballs.
She has eyeballs. Did you not see them?
Mm.
Look, there's her eyeballs.
She needs her top lid.
Oh yeah, the eyelids and all that detail. Yep, that
like
all
these.
needs to be happening. Oh, your eyelashes. Yeah, she needs eyelashes too, huh? We'll add that during the detailing stage. What do you think?
Yep.
Okay, so for the teeth,
needs her feet.
she has feet.
She needs cheeks.
The cheeks.
Yeah.
Look at these are her little cheeks right here. They're so cute, aren't they? Right there. Those are her cheeks. So when we can move them later on,
You want to hear this?
they go wah, 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 like that.
You want to hear this?
You're so silly.
That's what my cheeks do.
Oh, they do. So let's see. How many teeth does she have? Can you count, Penny? That's 1,
2, 3, 4, 5.
I think there's 6. Let's try again. 1,
1,
2, 3, 4, 5,
5,
6. Yay!
But I think we should do 6.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I'm gonna even out the mouth a little bit, and then we'll add in some
Like this.
teeth.
Like this. Like this side.
Yeah.
And then do that. That's how I grow my mouse big. Just put one on this one.
Okay, so I have that, and then to block in the teeth for now, just to get the overall shape, although I'm going to do a whole lesson on doing the inside of the mouth, I just want to be able to see it. Hey, Penny. A little bit calmer, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
Ears.
Yep. So I'm going to create Polygon Cylinders, and I'll bring them up here. Gonna make it more low poly for now. Rotate it a little bit like that and scale it down. Maybe even more scaled down. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then these two are going to be a little bit bigger, and we'll move them up. Maybe not that big, just a tiny bit bigger. And right now they're all in a straight line, so let's adjust that so that way it makes sense for the character. Yep. You okay?
Yep.
Okay. So I think for now that is okay. Let's just block in some colors really quick. So I'm just gonna do it with Lambert's. Let's assign a Lambert. Yep, Lambert is the surface type. Okay, let me delete the history.
Should we name her Lambert?
Lampert? You want that to be her name?
Yeah.
I got the Lambert, and let's make this blue.
Blue. I wanted it blue.
Just so that it has that coloring for now.
Blue. That color.
Let's select the teeth. And we'll assign another Lambert to it.
So that we can make more color on the teeth.
Yeah.
Let's do purple for the teeth.
Well, they gotta be kind of like a white-yellow color, I think.
Okay.
Let's get kind of a yellow color and make it a little bit light.
No, it needs to be like white. White. Like white.
There we go.
White.
And these are gonna be the teeth.
White. We need the white teeth. Because she has white teeth.
Yeah. She has like honey eyes. So first let's assign the color for the eyeballs themselves.
And what color should we do her feet?
It's all blue.
No, what? No.
Assign a new material.
I want to do her feet a different color.
Oh.
I think I want to do her feet dark blue.
Oh. Well, we'll get into more detailed design later, okay? Faces. Select these edges there, or faces there, and that face there. Assign another Lambert.
Hey, Lambert.
And I want kind of a honey-ish color. There we go.
Eyes look like honey. Like a bee.
And all of these are just placeholders for right now. these will eventually be full-on textures and everything.
Soon she will be so pretty.
Yeah, soon she will be pretty, huh? Okay, so I'm gonna assign a new Lambert. And this Lambert is going to be black. Oop, I missed a face. So I am going to assign existing material, the most recent Lambert. Looking pretty creepy. Don't you think, Penny?
Yeah, so that way it can be called in Penny's room. Right? But
Yep.
I don't think I'll be in my room.
And there's an extra polygon.
Maybe I'll be in your room in the movie.
I'm gonna kind of tilt it.
Have you been in like a monster costumes to figure how we could do this movie?
Maybe.
Every day when I was asleep, and I've been like, ah!
Oh, she needs a little bit of a pink nose. What do you think?
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, wow. Looking at it from the side, so you should always look at your geometry from different angles. Let me see if I can move this.
Look at my nose.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Let's see if I can save this.
What happened to her?
Okay, cool. I haven't saved anything, so let's save really quick.
What happened to her? What happened to her?
I was pushing the right mouse button. It got stuck under my other monitor, and I didn't realize it. But we can pull this out, and that looks a lot better, I think. And let's check over here. That is more of what we are expecting.
Maybe you should do the thing as I did before.
Oh, maybe.
Maybe you should do the bit.
Yep, so I'm going to get that geometry there.
That looks pretty pink to me. There's a pink nose. Pink nose. That kind of looks like a brownish color to me.
Yep.
Is that brown?
Well, that's because I'm selecting it. So now we need to assign a new material to it.
To the nose?
Yep, and this one we're going to make it that kind of pink color.
Yeah.
There you go. And obviously this will be fixed, and there's going to be fur that overlaps it a little bit.
Her nails look like nails look square color.
Yep, because we're going to end up smoothing it out. It's going to look closer to this.
No, it looks like a circle.
Yep, when we smooth it, it looks more like a circle. And then this here.
Oh, now it's not smooth.
Looking at this, I want to adjust now that we have the teeth in place.
I'm smoothing it with my finger.
Ah. I know that this is going to be kind of more along these lines.
See what I'm doing? Can you see my hand on it?
Nope, they can't.
I need to do the last part.
Please calm down, Penny, a little bit. I'm fixing the corner of the mouth here. Penny. Let's see, give me a moment. Which one is this? Okay. Now let's take this and shape. Ooh, I got a little bit too much from the back. Oops. And a lot of this little details are going to be tweaked even more once we have the high detail, but we just need to get it close enough right now with the low detail, or the low poly version. And I've just been working on this side for right now, but I'm gonna mirror over the geometry again. And I think eventually I'm going to need another row of teeth on the top, but for right now, just blocking everything in and seeing it, I'll need to study kind of how I want the mouth to have the shapes when it's talking, when it opens, and it's going like ah, e, o, u, like e sound. You really usually need to see both the top and the bottom teeth when you're saying e. But with as big and as crazy as these teeth are, maybe we can get away with not showing them. But I doubt it, but we'll see once we do a little bit more studies. That looks good. So let me get rid of the half over here. Then we'll do the eyebrows and the bow. And we will be set with the block-in stage, at least the preliminary block-in. Let's mirror the geometry. Bring the threshold down. Okay, so I have the base here, and I think I'm just going to use a couple cubes and a sphere for right now for the bow. Excuse me. So let's do that. Polygon Sphere. And I want the channel box. That is not the channel box. There, nope, that's tools. Channel box, there we go. Okay, so I'm gonna bring the polygon count down. Maybe somewhere around here. And then I'm going to create a couple of cubes. So polygon cube. Get about the width set. Then I can get that face at the end and kind of make it bigger like that. Make the bow. And the whole thing will probably be tilted like this. Let's duplicate that, and I am going to scale it over. And put it over here. So now that I'm seeing this in the future, this will probably be a tricky thing that we'll have to figure out because of the arm. Maybe I'll make the bow even smaller than it is. There we go. So we kind of have this bow shape. And all of these are going to be the red bow. So let's create another shader for that. Lambert. And let's make this material red. And that is a super bright saturated red. Let's see if we can tweak this a little bit. Make it less saturated. A little darker. Any sounds, oops, I did not want to do that. There we go. Okay, I got that out of the way. And then now I need a small bit of geometry for the eyebrows.
I want to see that.
So I'm going to create a cube for that to start off with. Polygon cube. I can snap this way up here. And looking at the channel box, I will likely want to adjust the segments on the height. I think I'll want 3 because it has kind of 1, 2, 3. Maybe it actually has 4. Yeah, it has 4 on each side. So let's add 1 more.
It's really good so far.
Thank you, Penny.
You're welcome.
So let's, before I start modeling that, let's add 3 segments on the brow, kind of like we did on the geometry over here. So that is going to be along the width. I'll add 3 more segments like that. Then we can start shaping this. It's going to be kind of the smallest. Set up here. Looking at here, it's kind of the top goes pretty straight coming out. So that is what I will do. Boo, boo, boo. Da, da, da. And maybe kind of scale this down like that. And then scale this in like that. Maybe rotate it. Bring it out so that it's got a little bit of curvature. And this last row here, scaling it down as well, rotating it. And here is where I can start kind of shaping it a little bit, where this one's coming out there. Then it's coming down this way, and then it's going to come down this way. And then with all of these edges, I'm going to have to, oops, I only want it on this one. Space them out a little bit more so that way they don't get all super kind of crunched up into one area. I want them all to be spread out so that way we can deform it later, and if we smooth it, that the smoothness of the geometry is spread out evenly. There we go. And then like the frilly parts at the end are going to be done with the fur. I just need the kind of major shape of the hair first, so that way I can assign something with fur to it. Maybe here I can pull this in a little bit more. There we go. So let's assign a dark blue, like a navy type color to the brows. And I will rename these in the future. There we go.
That eyebrow looks pretty good.
Thank you, Penny. Let's duplicate it, group it, scale -1 in the X, and we have the eyebrows there.
Very mad.
Yeah.
Very mad monster.
The thing that I don't have with the teeth that I really like that I have here is kind of that arch, and I think it's part of the mouth. It's going too straight over here, and it's a lot more arched in the drawing. Let me see if I can get that arch to feel a little bit better.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Let's see. That's looking a little bit better where it has that kind of arch that the concept art has. Then I need to make sure that curvature is still preserved. The overall shape. There we go. So that is the block-in stage of this character. Let's see if I can push it somewhere where it's kind of interesting. That's the block-in stage of this character. Obviously, I still got a lot left to do, but the general shape of everything is there. Kind of looking at it, maybe the hands are a little bit big, too big, but I can tweak that as I go along. But other than that, it's starting to come together as the character. I'm excited. I hope you guys are too. And we'll see you guys in the next video. Alright, talk to you guys later. Bye.